Hey guys, welcome to another video from Historic Militaria. Today I wanted to take a look at some basic cartridge identification techniques. And one thing to know when you're looking at any cartridge is to be able to describe if it is a rimmed, rimless, semi-rimmed, belted, or rebated base round. That is really helpful if you're asking somebody to help you identify a cartridge case or anything like that. So we have an example of each one of them right here. And these are larger caliber rounds to sort of show you the differences a little bit easier rather than trying to look at rifle rounds. But the first one here is going to be a rimmed round, and as you can see, there's a very distinct rim around the bottom, which is wider than your cartridge case diameter. And that would be indicative generally of a round that was an older round. You saw most of the rounds in the 1800s were all going to be rimmed. Your 22 caliber, most of your revolver rounds are rimmed. Probably the ones that you're going to come across most commonly in military terms are your 303 British, which is a rimmed round, and your 7.62 by 54 Russian rimmed. So actually 7.62 by 54R stands for rimmed, not Russian, when you're talking about that caliber. And of course, that is the standard Mauser Nagant and many other Soviet weapons, Soviet and Russian weapons, and still in use today. Secondly, we've got a semi-rimmed round, and that from the side looks like a standard rimless round, but when you actually turn it, you can see that there's a rim there that protrudes out from the diameter of the cartridge casing. So that is a semi-rimmed round. You've got your extractor groove and also a larger rim. So that would be expressed as SR. So you'd be talking about 12.7 by, I believe, 82 SR. And that would be a typical designation. Then kind of the people that use those the most in World War II would be the Japanese with their 6.5 Arisaka round, which was a semi-rimmed round, and they also used a 7.7 millimeter semi-rimmed machine gun round. Of course, they also used a 7.7 millimeter rimmed and also rimless. So the Japanese, not really sure what they were thinking at the time. Our third one here is just going to be a standard rimless round, and that is a very typical where you've got your extractor groove and then you've got your part at the very base. Your base is going to be exactly the same diameter as the rest of your casing. So there's no, when you do like this, there's nothing sticking out on your finger. You can just tell this is a rimless round. And this is a standard 50 BMG. So that is, you know, the most common. Most of the rounds that you're going to see used in automatic and semi-automatic weapons are going to be rimless. Certainly pretty much all the American calibers since 1903 have been a rimless round. I'm sure somebody will think of an exception, but generally most of your rounds are going to be rimless. Our next one is going to be the belted round, and that is because you've got a belt right here, and that can be both for head spacing, or in the case of some of the Safari Magnum cartridges, you can have that for strengthening the base of the cartridge case. And that's very typical. It's just a belt that goes around the bottom of the cartridge casing. And in this case, this is a 55 Boys anti-tank rifle round, and these were belted so that they'd head space better on that belt. And finally, we have what's called the rebated base. And it's rebated because you've got the extractor groove, and then your bottom of it is much smaller than the cartridge case itself. And generally you're going to see that on very few rounds are going to have that. There are some commercial rounds that have it, and probably the most common of the rebated base military rounds from World War II would be your 8x59 rebated base Beretta, which was an Italian round. This one is actually a Japanese 20 millimeter cannon round, and these were rebated base. But just to give you an idea of what you might be looking at, again, rebated base, belted, rimless, semi-rimmed, and rimmed. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll be doing more stuff here soon. Remember to like and subscribe.